Well, that's silly me. Okay, good morning. All that for nothing. Anyway, let's do this again. I'm just gonna start over. Hi, what's up? Um, Gunfox did something for me yesterday. By the way, he did a donation off hours, which I appreciate. And I'm gonna do this again because you didn't get to hear the music. Stop the booming. I got it. We got it. Yes, I figured it out. He said, this is the donation from yesterday. I know there wasn't any sound of the waterfall. Anyway, he says, Marty, you need to stop. Just stop. You need help. Twitter crack is bad. You are addicted to Twitter crack. Fear not. U.S. shock therapy can help. Shock therapy works. You'll never want to give in to your addictions again. Call us today for help. Yes, that was an ad for the show. Thank you, Gunfox61, for supporting this channel. I'm watching this trial. I'm watching every minute of it, and I'm watching it on Rakita's stream. And Rakita's stream, he has multiple lawyers coming in and out and doing commentary while the trial's going on. They're all there's the various practices, but there are a couple former prosecutors that have been on a show, and there's been defense attorneys, and there's people who don't necessarily specialize in that type of law, but they're all lawyers, right? And so I get commentary, basically, what they're saying. And granted, Rakita's has a ideological bias, but he still has to be a lawyer. And so he tells you when each side of the case does well and each side of the case doesn't. And he's been pretty fair as far as, what happens during the case. But then I read the media accounts of what's happening. And I'm like, what did you watch? What did you watch? And I got a feeling that the people who write the articles or write the tweets or write the headlines for these news media companies only watch what someone hands them or only reads what someone hands them. I don't think they're actually watching the trial. I just think they make shit up. It's embarrassing to see it happen. It's terrible. So we're gonna do it again today. We're going to go through media coverage of the trial that I'm watching every single minute of. So if they say something that's not correct, I know it immediately because I've seen every minute of this trial. I have watched it because, I watch it while I'm driving during the day. And I watch, what I do is after this stream, I put it on 1.5 times speed so I can eventually, by the end of the day, as I'm listening to it, I catch up so I see the whole thing. And there are times when the trial's not going, they're in a break, and the lawyer people are just talking. I put it on double speed because I try to catch up. I watched and listened to the entire trial, and holy Shiite Batman! It's you wonder why if you see someone talking about this trial somewhere and they say something completely just out there, not even close to being correct. You're like, where are they talking about? Are they not watching? Oh yeah. They're not. They're not watching the trial itself. They're reading media accounts. So yesterday, Jonathan Capehart was guest hosting on the Joy Reid show, and he said these words. He said, well, first of all, he said that they're protesting the death of Jacob Blake, which, again, that's news to Jacob Blake. I'm sure that, I'm sure Jacob Blake's wondering, that motherfucker just say I'm dead? Anyway, but the first thing, one of the first things out of his mouth after the death of Jacob Blake was the line that Gaige Grosskreutz testified that his hands were up when Kyle Rittenhouse, the kid, whatever. I'm gonna call him a kid from Night now because YouTube doesn't like. Well, I guess they if Rakita can say it, I can say it. That Kyle Rittenhouse shot it while his hands were up. Now, nowhere in Gaige Grosskreutz testimony did he say he was shot while his hands were up. But Jonathan Capehart said that on MSNBC. And I was like, where the hell did Jonathan Capehart hear that? Because it was not in the trial. Period. End of story. And it was, there was an NPR story. And I think maybe he read the NPR story and he said that, because Grosskreutz did say he approached Kyle with his hands up. And there was a whole exchange with the defense that said, oh, yes. And when you had your hands up, did he shoot? No. Did he shoot when you turned? No. Did he, so he only shot when you pointed his gun at him, right? Right. But that was not in the NPR report of the exchange until way down in the article, right? And up here, they got Grosskreitz's testimony. And remember, when we watched that clip, they only showed Grosskreitz's testimony to the prosecution. So this is how people get this, I call it the game of telephone, because all these people are just saying shit that they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, but they heard something that was part of something someone said, and they finished the sentence. So today, we're going to see some of that again. There's one in particular that I almost lost my, I don't know. My head almost exploded when I saw it, because it's a big lie of omission. So we'll get to that, but you know me, got to play the intro first. Johnny, play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawgKnight. All right, stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I am your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet, and welcome to the PDawgKnight Channel. It is Wednesday, Hump Day. That camel commercial, it never leaves my head. Anyway, it's Hump Day on the Morning Night Live, and the trial of the, I don't know. This is a trial of the year. It's not going to be the trial of the century, I'm sure. Impeachment and all that other stuff would still be up in the top there, but still, it's a big damn deal right now, because it's one of those polarizing trials. By the way, if you're also following the McMichael trial, and I call it the McMichael trial because a lot of people are calling it the Ahmaud Arbery trial, but it's not the Ahmaud Arbery trial, because Ahmaud Arbery is not on trial. The young man is deceased, and I'm going to give you just my 10-second update on that from the beginning of that trial. The McMichaels are fucked. I'm sorry. Because in the beginning of the trial, it was stated that the McMichaels did not see Ahmaud Arbery commit a crime. Now, I don't care what your thoughts on Ahmaud Arbery. He's not on trial. The McMichaels are. And the fact that they were supposedly doing a citizen's arrest to someone where they did not witness a crime in the state of South Carolina, I think it's in South Carolina, whatever state they're in, the law states that to make a citizen's arrest, you have to witness a crime. They've already admitted they're not, so they're fucked. And, they said they followed him because they just saw someone running. Okay, well, unfortunately, it's case closed for McMichaels. And, if they didn't see a crime being committed and they went and chased someone down with guns, fuck them. Bye. Anyway, let's get back to this trial, because we're going to talk about media spin, okay? We're going to talk about media spin, and none of the stuff that I showed today, I've looked at a couple of these, but not fully, and some of this is going to be a surprise. Some we're going to this is going to be my live reaction to some of this shit. But before I do that, of course, I want to say good morning to the people in the chat. So now I think I messed up this morning because I don't have a pin. Should have an unpinned message there. What the hell? I hope I got this right. I believe Advocatus Diaboli was here first, so you get the bell, sir. Thank you for being here, of course, and of course, thank everyone for being here. But if you get here first, that means you're paying attention. Okay. Also, good morning to K Shull, Tyler F, Mike Savage, Blarg, El Gringo's in the house. Nice to see you. Nicholas Daly is here. Good morning, Selecta Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Also, good morning to Let's Go Brandon, aka Renee Mayette. Also, good morning, Zach to the Future. I love that name. Good morning also to Maddie. How's the geek? Soon to be a Minnesota permanent resident again.
You are the new
whoa, what the hell? That was that. No. This is Maddie. Maddie and Ronan, the trucking couple. Also, good morning to HP Lovecraft's in the house. Nice to see you. Also, Cannon Hotep. Salute to you too, sir. Also, C. Thomas, who says penis. Okay. Special K on Acids here, and Lord Stanhope, what's up? And people slowly coming in. What the hell's going on? This is really slow. Only 11 people here. That's not right. Anyway, and also our first sponsor today, C. Thomas via Streamlabs, which means
you are the new Streamlabs superstar
sponsor of the day. Thank you, C. Thomas, who says, "Let's go, Brandon." And he also says, or let's go, Brandon, comma, also, first. Well, I'm looking on the list, and you're not exactly first, but C. Thomas, you know what? You're always first in my heart, brother. You know. Also, good morning, Willie. Nice to see you back. And Captain Brambles is in the house. So maybe my counter's just messed up here because I think that's more than 11 people. But anyway, if you like what we do today, hit the like button. Share the stream before, during, or after the stream. All of them help. Anytime you can share what I do, that helps. I'm growing slowly but surely. And if you want to sponsor the show, you can do it at PDawgKnight.live. You can watch the show, chat there, and do donations, or you can do YouTube Super Chats. If you want to give Susan 30%, it's not up to me. That's up to you, because I appreciate whatever I get out of it. I mean, I don't expect anything out of it. This is a free show on a free internet platform, but I do appreciate so much your support. So thank you again. And again, thank you, C. Thomas, for being the first sponsor of the day. That is fantastic. All right, let's get into some of this, because it's maddening. It is maddening. By the way, Brian Williams announced his departure from NBC after 28 years. I wonder if his helicopter got shot down. I'm just curious. Anyway, so the homicide trial of Kyle Rittenhouse continues in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Now, warning, the timeline below may contain some sensitive material. Now, that's different. That's different from yesterday. They didn't have a warning, so that's good. And they continue. They still have the same thing. Rittenhouse faces charges of homicide and other offenses related to the August 2020 shooting and killing of Joseph Rosenbaum, Anthony Huber, as well as injuring Gaige Grosskreutz. Rittenhouse, who was 17 at the time, shot the three men while carrying an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle.
You're a lying dog-faced pony.
Whoops. During a protest against the shooting of Jacob Blake, a black man, by a white police officer. According to the Associated Press, Rittenhouse has pleaded not guilty to the charges, and says he acted in self-defense, which, if you are watching the trial, well, let me just remind you of something about this trial that people do not understand, just like parents don't understand. When in Wisconsin, okay, in some states the prosecution has to it's the burden of the defense to prove self-defense. In some states, in Wisconsin, it is not. The burden is on the prosecution to prove when a victim, when a defendant is accused of such a crime as Kyle Rittenhouse has been accused of, and they plead self-defense, the prosecution's job in the case is to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant did not act in self-defense. They have to prove it. If they say it's, and if the defendant says it's self-defense, the prosecution has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that it's not self-defense. And a lot of people have that confused because they're first of all, they also, a lot of people online or people that are talking about this make the mistake. Why do I have this up here right now? I don't need this up here yet. A lot of people make the mistake online saying that, for example, well, because he wasn't supposed to be there, because he had an illegal firearm, he's automatically, he was out to go kill people. So all the other charges have to be, he found guilty of. No. See, here's the thing, and someone made a great analogy this morning, and maybe I should read it because this is one of the best ways I've heard it. Let me go into my notifications here. The best way I've heard it was, is it in here? Well, anyway. So for example, let's say a underage girl is in a bar and she has a pistol in her purse, right? And she goes to the bathroom and she's assaulted in the bathroom by someone trying to violate her. And she uses that pistol to kill the assailant who is attempting to violate her. And there's witness who saw the person trying to violate her, and she kills that person. She is, despite the fact that she is not supposed to be in a bar because she's underage and not supposed to have a gun because she's underage, does not remove her right to self-defense. So everyone's saying, a lot of people still saying, he brought a gun across state lines. In fact, the best one yesterday was the guy who said that he brought a gun across 2 states. He clearly needs a geography lesson, or at least I'd learn how to look up things on a map. But anyway, so all the charges are fairly separate of each other. So, for example, the reckless homicide could possibly be found guilty of. I'm just giving you a scenario. I'm not saying what's going to happen. He could be found guilty of the gun charge, but he might not be able to defend the self-defense charge in the second 2 cases. That's what the possibilities are. I think he's going to be acquitted on everything that has to do with other humans. Okay. Now the action, the curfew, that was, someone said that was dismissed yesterday. So the only other charge is the illegal possession of a weapon by a minor, which is a misdemeanor with a fine. I'm not even sure it has jail time on that one, but anyway, But there's so many people who just are getting everything wrong about this. And so, it's sad, but what bothers me the most is when the news media gets it wrong. Like, for example, this clip we saw yesterday with Jonathan Capehart, who got it completely wrong. Jonathan Capehart got the fact that Jacob Blake is still alive wrong. I don't ever listen to anyone on MSNBC about this case. But anyway, let's get into some of this though, because we were on this page here, right? This is the Twitter, and I'm pretty gonna stick to media sources. I'm not, if they're just people who I'm sure there's some people in here with threads that like this Omar Jimenez from CNN. Fuck this guy. But he's spinning it hard against Kyle. Most of the media is spinning it hard against Kyle. But anyway, so let's start with Kenosha now. Defense attorneys for Kyle Rittenhouse continue to make their case in his homicide trial. Watch the proceedings here. So that's just where you can watch it. I would suggest watching on Ricada, who's destroying everybody. In fact, I'm going to show you something. Let's see how many people are watching Ricada right now, because he had 35,000 people watching his stream last night. He was beating every major media outlet, I think, except for PBS NewsHour. They're just starting the trial, and he has 24,000 watching already. And it grows every day because now it's funny. In fact, the other thing, I think, wait, let's check it out. Because Megyn Kelly was tweeting about a stream. Everybody, there's a lot of names you'd know that was tweeting about a stream. But he might even invite Megyn Kelly on today because Megyn Kelly is a lawyer. Megan's a lawyer. Let's see who's there now. I don't know who that is. Who's that? I know who these guys. Those are the brothers who own the car lots and who lied on the stand about inviting people on. There was testimony yesterday that one of the guys guarding the car source place got a ride from one of these guys. So they were saying, no, we never asked anybody to help watch our businesses. One of these guys drove them to the business with the guns. It's just hilarious. But I think they're worried about liability should Kyle be found guilty, which is not likely. I just can't see it. But anyway, because he had this maniac charging at him. Oh, we'll get into that too, because there's a lot. There's some stuff about the autopsy. One of the medical examiner was on the stand yesterday, and so a lot of people are making a lot about the medical examiner, and they're saying that he shot him in the back, some self-defense. Well, there's an explanation for that. Anyway, real quick though. I know I'm just rambling. Why are you so angry? Good morning. How are you? Good to see you. Kessler's in the house. Also, I see Jimmy from Philly is in here. What's up? I should have a beer in honor of Jimmy from Philly, just because, you know. So anyway, I know why my stream's so light today, because a lot of people are watching the trial now. I got you hooked, don't I? I got you hooked, and it's damaging myself. But I if watch the damn trial if you're interested, or you can just come here and see what's happening. All right, let's see how the media is treating this trial though, because it's kind of embarrassing in some ways. Let's see, streaming on. Okay, they got the trial streaming there. They got the trial streaming there happening now. They've got it streaming there. In the words of Jacob Marshall, in his words, Jacob Marshall said this was his way of fighting back against the threats Gaige Grosskreutz was getting at the time. I was trying to stick up for him more or less. Oh, because Jacob Marshall was put on the stand. That must have been this morning, because I haven't seen this testimony yet. But here it is, because this is Grosskreitz's roommate who tweeted this out, and they found screenshots of it. Ben Stuckless, yes, after you get shot, you can't drop your gun because your muscles are tensed up. This clearly shows his gun was pulled after the point I originally posted, and he was shot after having his hands up. This just proves it more. Oh, that's a false. That's false, because he had his hands up, he turned away, and then turned back, pointed the gun at Kyle. So that's a lie. Then he said, Ben Stuckless said the kid shot Gaige as he drew his weapon, and Gaige retreated with his gun in hand. He didn't shoot Gaige as he drew his weapon. There's obviously, well, this is him tweeting after the whatever. And then he says, I just talked to Gaige Grosskreutz too. His only regret was not killing the kid and hesitating to pull the gun before emptying the entire mag into him. Coward. So anyway, that's that's not good. That's not good for the prosecution, but it's kind of hearsay, but it's sort of hearsay, except he's stating that Gaige Grosskreutz actually said that to him. So who knows? Who knows how they're going to treat that? All right, let's see. A lot of this is live stream, and I want to get to the things that I saw this morning. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's try this. WISN News. This is in Kenosha. Let's see if they have a news report here. Let's see how they spin things today. I'm not going to do that. I don't care about any of this. And no, I don't want to have, you don't need to limit location. All right, here's the local news report from yesterday in Wisconsin. Let's see how much.
Ready? set.
No. I don't want to hear that. Hang on. Here we go. Now, let's unmute this.
Again, live this morning. Dan, thanks for your insight on this case. What kind of witnesses do you expect the defense to call? Hi, Jen.
Well, yesterday we saw the defense start their case with shorter witnesses who were fact witnesses.
Shorter? I mean, isn't the dude only 5'3" anyway? Sorry. I think I know what he meant. Oh, we're watching Monkey too. Well, that's fine. Y'all watch whoever you watch. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate you opening a window for me too, though. I appreciate it.
People who were around the shooting scene when it happened. Today, I imagine that we could see two things. We could see the defense's expert, use of force expert.
Okay, give me an idea.
A person who could explain whether or not, in his experience, studying uses of force with firearms, whether or not Kyle Rittenhouse acted reasonably.
But he's not going to get to talk about that. They kind of excluded that part, even though that's his expertise. But anyway.
And then, of course, the big witness in the case, who we've all been waiting for, is Kyle Rittenhouse himself. He could actually take the stand as early as today.
Okay, let's do a poll. Let's do a poll right now in my chat. And you know what? I know none of us are experts at this, but let's ask this. Should Kyle take the stand? Now, I know there's not a whole lot of people here, but there you go. There's the question right now. I'm just curious, and I'll tell you what I think in a minute.
We'll be very interested to see.
Okay, I don't care about this. But I'll leave it in the tabs. By the way, the tabs yesterday got blown up because I screwed up some shit, which is not unusual. Okay, now let's go into the Washington Post, the Washington Compost. Here, I have to get the archive version. Oh, nobody's archived this article yet? I can't believe it. All right, we won't wait for that. We're going to go to the next one. Okay, Newsweek. Legal experts are split on Gaige Grosskreutz evidence in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, with one calling it a catastrophe for the prosecution, and another saying it actually hurt the self-defense argument. Really? Now this should be fascinating. Let's see how this article plays out. Is this okay? Oh, they're just showing Binger questioning, and the re-rack is going to be important too, because I don't think you're going to see it in the video, but we'll see. Legal experts are divided on whether testimony of Gaige Grosskreutz, a key prosecution witness in the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, vindicates the 18-year-old's argument that he acted in self-defense. Grosskreutz, who was shot and injured by Rittenhouse in Kenosha, Wisconsin on August 25, 2020, took to the stand on Monday to give evidence in the teenager's homicide trial. Under cross-examination, Grosskreutz said Rittenhouse had fired at him after he had pointed his own handgun at him. Rittenhouse was then 17, was on the ground, having just been attacked with a skateboard by Anthony Huber. Huber, 26, and Joseph Rosenbaum, 36, were shot and killed by Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse's lawyer, Corey Shirafisi, asked Grosskreutz, quote, "It wasn't until you pointed your gun at him, advanced on him with your gun, now your hands down, pointed at him, that he fired, right?" "Correct," said Grosskreutz. Some legal experts and Rittenhouse supporters have suggested that here's the spin. Who cares what Rittenhouse supporters say? In this, if you're asking legal experts, talk to the legal experts, but they have to say the Rittenhouse supporters, right? Some legal experts and Rittenhouse supporters have suggested that this was the moment that the prosecution's argument that Rittenhouse was not acting in self-defense actually helped to initiate the violence in Kenosha fell apart. Well, first of all, this line, too, this is another part, too, that I keep hearing, that Rittenhouse actually helped initiate the violence in Kenosha? Where the hell did that come from? And even with what's dickhead's name? Rosenbaum. They haven't presented any evidence that he initiated the altercation with Rosenbaum. They said in the beginning of the trial that they were going to prove that Kyle Rittenhouse had chased Rosenbaum and initiated a confrontation. They haven't presented any evidence that that's the case. Even their secret FBI tape did not show any evidence of that. They have video in the trial so far that shows that Rittenhouse was asking if anyone needed medical help. Anyone need medical? Anyone need medical? Anyone need medical? And as he comes around that little corner of the cars, that's when dickhead starts chasing him. Monkey said hi. Watch. I'm going to go say hi to Monkey back. Hang on. What did I do there? That's not what I meant to do. Oh, I know what I did. I'm supposed to be staying here. But now I messed this up. Oh gosh, I don't have my monitor anymore. There's my monitor's back. I'll say hi to Monkey later, whatever. Let's go back to this stupid article. So anyway, now Christopher Slowbogen, director of the Criminal Justice Program at Vanderbilt University Law School in Tennessee, does not agree. He told Newsweek that Grosskreitz's testimony looked bad for the prosecution in isolation, but the jury must take into account what occurred before the shooting. Bottom line is that the chronology of the shots is very important, Slowbogen said. Gaige only pointed his gun at Rittenhouse after he shot the first two individuals. This testimony could actually hurt Rittenhouse's self-defense argument because the prosecution could argue that Gaige was trying to protect himself from a man who was shooting everything in sight, including two unarmed people. There's no evidence of that. He only shot people who attacked him. Now, that doesn't mean that Grosskreutz, if he had shot Rittenhouse, could not also have a self-defense argument. We talked about this yesterday. The lawyers on Rakita streams keep talking about this. Yeah, they both could have a valid self-defense argument had they shot one another. Okay? Because if Gaige Grosskreutz could argue that he believed Kyle Rittenhouse was an active shooter, that he was going to help stop an active shooter. And that was self-defense. He was self-defense, okay? The problem is, so it doesn't negate Kyle Rittenhouse's self-defense argument at all. Because Kyle Rittenhouse doesn't have to know what's in Gaige Grosskreitz's mind. He only has to know what's in his mind, and it can be he's defending himself against a guy who first had his hands up, turned around, and then turned around again and pointed a gun at him. And he didn't shoot until the gun part. And they went through video of other people that Kyle did not shoot that came at him but did not attack him in the same sequence. In fact, there was I think two people, even when he was on the ground there. Jump kick man, kicks him in the head. Kyle shoots, jump kick man runs away. Huber hits him with skateboard, hits him with skateboard again, tries to take his gun, gets shot, attacked him. Grosskreutz, hands up, no shooting. Turns around, no shooting. Turns back with a gun and points at Kyle's head. Boom, bye, goodbye, UNICEF. That's Ranting Monkey's joke. In fact, somebody go tell Ranting Monkey that I stole his joke. UNICEF, that's his new name. UNICEF. UNICEF. That's Grosskreitz's new name. Anyway, but then another guy runs up to him. Kyle has his gun pointed in. The guy puts his hands up and runs away. Kyle Rittenhouse did not shoot him. So the idea that he was shooting everything in sight, well, that's just bullshit. In fact, Kyle Rittenhouse was fleeing the mob. If he was shooting everything in sight in the mob and he didn't fall down and get attacked, there was no evidence that he would not have kept fleeing. What? Kyle's taking the stand. Oh, fuck it. We're going to watch it. Fuck this. Oh my God. I can't believe this. You got to be kidding me. Why would they do this? We're going to watch it. Maybe, if I can get my damn internet thing to work here. What the hell? Why is my mouse fucking up? You got to be kidding me. This is, oh, shit. Now my internet's going to death. 29,000 watch on Rakita. You know what? I'm going to just take a chance and beg for forgiveness from Rakita. This is I'm what's it called?
I'll tell you what he's going to say that the witness, or what he could say that the witnesses haven't already said. Something that would compromise his ability to not say something else.
So
that's the risk. If he gets up on the stand and says anything regarding his character,
Inception.
If he says he's a peaceful person, if he says that he doesn't engage in violence and that he's just a good boy, then they get to bring up the fact that he got into a fight and there's videos where he's punching a woman in the face. Yeah. They get to bring up the fact that he sat in a CVS truck wishing that he had his gun with him so he could shoot people who he believed were stealing things out of that CVS. He could open the door to prejudicial prior acts that are irrelevant.
Guys,
to this.
I cannot
if he says,
believe
I'm
this.
not a member of any organizations. Maybe they can attack
you're
his
polling,
later association with the Proud Boys, even though it would normally
said
be
no, he
irrelevant
should not
to
take
this
the
case,
stand. 13% said they should, so that's like 2 versus 13.
This is just a bowl of risk with basically no reward because. I'm not
going to do this with the commentary.
They've already made
watch
the case. There's
later.
nothing you need.
Nick, he answers one question factually and correctly, and then they get. For whatever reason.
Okay, I don't know what that
one
is.
Question
Where's the?
I just got
I linked to the stream. Here, I'm not going to watch it on here because
to contradict him.
I don't want to
documents or evidence which have not yet been
pilfer
seen on the basis that I didn't know he was.
So we're going to find it on Law and Crime. Let's see. Rittenhouse stream. We'll watch on Law and Crime because I don't want to get. Let's see. Where's Law and Crime? I don't want to watch on anybody but streams that aren't going to give commentary. I know PBS NewsHour could be. Law and Crime was probably the best one. And I don't want to give views to these other people either. Holy shit. Well, it's going to have to be PBS because I can't find. Oh, here. Law and Crime. Hang a second. Let's see. Law and Crime. There we go. Here, we'll watch it here. I think this is insanity.
286 Anita Terrace, apartment 104, Antioch, Illinois.
And who did you live with there?
My mother and two sisters.
Hello, Zablay. How you doing?
What's your father's name?
Michael Rittenhouse.
Where does he live?
Back on August 25th of 2020.
This is the thing about.
Where did he reside?
He lived in Kenosha, in the city of Kenosha, in the apartments behind the pick and save on 50th.
He's just so stressed.
Do you have any other family that's from Kenosha?
Yes.
What?
My grandmother, my aunt, my uncle, and cousins.
The ties to Kenosha, all these people saying, "Oh, he's not. He's crossed state lines."
There's been testimony.
Hi, Riesler. How you doing? Use PBS. I'm going to do Law and Crime. Thank you for the suggestion, though. I appreciate it.
Stage 28. You seen that gun?
Yes.
Before August 25th of 2020, had that gun ever left the state of Wisconsin?
No.
Now, before this event happened on August 25th of 2020, did you have any hobbies?
Yes.
Tell the jury what you like to do.
I was a swimmer. I enjoyed working. I was a lifeguard. Hanging out with friends, going to the beach. Just normal teenage stuff.
Were you a member of any groups, organized groups?
Yes.
What?
I was a police explorer for Grays Lake Police Department, and I was a firefighter EMT cadet for Antioch Fire Department.
Did you have any training in life-saving, anything like that?
I'm not digging this.
What?
I was a certified lifeguard.
And this is going to be layman's, non-lawyer commentary.
And swim instructor.
They're just establishing
stop the bleed, CPR, AED, automatic external defibrillator, and basic life support.
Okay. On August 25th of 2020.
So you might have said he's an EMT cadet, which is accurate.
I was furloughed at the YMCA in Lindenhurst, Illinois, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and I was working at the Recplex in Pleasant Prairie.
Okay. Recplex here in Kenosha County?
Yes.
Now, on the night of the 24th, did you come
This is
to
killing me.
downtown
I don't even want him on the
Kenosha?
stand. He's going to be on the stand all
Not
day.
downtown,
We'll watch as
but I
much as we
came to
can.
Kenosha for work.
Okay. And after your shift at work completed, where did you go?
Oh, I do want to see that.
I went to Dominic Black's stepfather's house. I believe his name is Scott Dickhart. It's been a while since I've seen him.
Okay.
Scott
And
Dickhart.
who is Dominic Black in relationship to you?
Him and my Dominic Black and my sister Mackenzie Rittenhouse used to date.
Okay. And on the night of the 24th, were you aware of anything going on in Kenosha?
I knew there was protests, demonstrations, and riots going on in the later evening.
Okay, I'm going to find.
And how were you aware
Jimmy
of
from
that?
Philly. Where did you say you said that to me?
I saw videos on social media, on Facebook live streams, TikTok of. I saw the Car Source lot being burned down. The Car Source 1, what we've been referring to. I saw a police officer get assaulted.
God,
he
why
had
did
a
they
brick
do this?
thrown at his head.
This is crazy.
And I saw the mattress store owner get knocked out, and I believe his jaw was broken and had to be
let's
wired
go.
shut
Here,
or
we're going to
something.
find Nate, the lawyer.
And you saw all of that on the 24th?
Yes.
Did you go to downtown Kenosha at that time and try and do anything about that?
No, I did not.
This is going to
Directing your attention to the late morning of August 25th, 2020. Did you have occasion to go downtown?
I did go to downtown in the morning of August 25th.
Who did you go there with?
I went there with Dominic Black, my sister Mackenzie
Oh,
Rittenhouse,
it's the
and Ray
recap in 2
Dickhart.
minutes with David
And
Packman. This is hilarious.
Describe what you did.
We walked around for a little bit, and then
Guys,
I
I'm
believe
not
at
gonna play it.
around
We're just gonna listen.
11:30
We're just gonna
noon,
listen.
we ended up at Ruther Central High School, where we ended up cleaning graffiti for about, I want to say, an hour and a half to 2 hours.
A lot of people in the chat in this law and crime, which they're leaving their chat up, which is unusual. Some people saying he's guilty, most saying nonsense.
Do you recognize that?
I do.
Could you describe what you see in that photo?
Towards the left in the olive green shirt, that's me, and then to my left, that's Ray Dickhart, and to my right, that's my sister Mackenzie
Ray Dickhart.
Rittenhouse.
I'm not going to be able to stop hearing
We're
that
cleaning
name.
graffiti off of Ruther
I
Central
can't
High
help it.
School.
Were you getting paid to do this?
No, I was not.
And you see what the graffiti says?
God, they destroyed the
You knew what it said as
prosecution.
you were
Why put
cleaning
him
it off?
on?
Yes.
I won't repeat it. After you were done doing that, what did you do?
We were walking, and we went to the Car Source lot, the first location, and we were looking at the destruction of the burnt cars, and we saw the owner, Sam and Sal, I believe that's what they told us their names were.
And you saw, when we say Car Source, the one that you met Sam and Sal at is what we've been referring to as Car Source number 1?
Yes.
And that's the one that they just played a video of all the burnt out cars?
Yes.
Did you have any discussions with Sam and Sal?
Briefly, I offered my condolences, and I said, if there's anything I can do, please reach out to me. He gave me his number. I gave him my number,
And you were with Dominic Black at that time?
I was.
And your sister?
Yes.
And what did you do after that?
After that, we walked back to, I believe, we parked our car by.
Interesting,
You see
as
the
I'm watching the
parking
chat, it's
lot?
about half and half.
Pointer up there?
Yes. We parked our car right in this parking lot in that corner, somewhere over there.
I can't see that far, I'm sorry. You're referring to the parking lot, which is at the corner 59th and Sheridan. It would be the southeast corner, correct?
Correct.
Thanks, Lord
You
Stanhope.
have-
I'll see you
you're
later,
pointing the
man.
dot.
It's
You
this. I
parked
don't.
closer
Ugh.
to 8th Street, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you can put the pointer down. And whose car did you get there in?
Dominic Black's.
And when you left, where did you go?
Once we left that parking lot, we went to Dominic Black's stepfather's house again, and we hung out there for a little bit.
Okay. And do you know who Nick Smith is?
I do.
And did you have any contact with Nick Smith that afternoon?
Later in the evening, around 3:30, 4 o'clock, Nick Smith called me and Dominic.
And
Evening
when he
or
called
afternoon?
You, what was the nature of the call?
At first, Nick Smith wanted us to drive him to Chicago by O'Hare Airport, the suburbs of Chicago.
All right, folks,
because
question.
he wanted to
Do we want to watch this
buy
or
a
just
bulletproof vest.
talk about it tomorrow when
And
you watch
we
the
said, Dominic
recaps?
said, okay, we'll drive him.
I'll give you
And
that
then
bull. Do we watch this
He said,
or
okay, I
not?
need you to pick me up at like 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Okay. Did you go and pick him up eventually?
Yes, we actually, before we picked him up, we went to Jelensky's.
Okay. What did you do at Jelensky's?
We bought.
I will go
Dominic
with whatever
wanted me
wins.
to
I'm not,
buy,
I can go either way
2
on this.
rifle
I do have other
slings.
news stories we
And
can
did
talk
you?
about.
I did.
One was for
Oh,
what?
you sent me an email.
One was for my rifle,
okay.
and the other one
Cool.
was
Thank you,
for
Philly.
Dominic's rifle.
Jimmy.
Okay. And
It's Philly. Jimmy
why
from
did you
Philly.
care about your rifles that evening?
Where the hell did I close that window?
The reason for the
Oh,
slings
shit,
were
that was dumb.
just so it's like a retainer. So if I'm helping somebody with first aid, I can just like dangle my rifle behind me, and I don't have to worry about somebody just randomly going and picking it up off the ground, just as like an extra measure, so it won't be taken from the ground.
And
I'm
what
only
time
keeping
did
this
you go to
poll up for
Zelensky's?
another 60 seconds, so
I
answer the
want to
poll.
say about 2:30,
so
but I
can,
don't know
I'll make it quick so I can
exactly
make a
for
quick
sure.
decision here.
When did you
Because I
first
certainly
have
talked about the news
contact
from
with
yesterday.
Nick Smith?
3:30, 3:15.
Okay.
3:15 through
And
3.
was there any discussion regarding car source at that time?
Yes.
What?
Nick Smith, once we picked him up, we drove. He wanted to go to a bank to withdraw money. The bank was closed, and then he was like, hey, would you guys like to come with me and help watch over the car source, make sure there's no fires or anything? And Dominic said yes. I agreed. I said okay. And then I said, here, Nick, I don't really need my bulletproof vest. I'm going to be helping people with first aid, so I gave him my bulletproof vest.
And by you giving
I'm going to give you.
him
Well, I'm going to
your
give you 30 more
bulletproof
seconds to
vest,
vote on this because I want
that
this. I want to know. It looks like it's 50-50
stop
right
the need
now.
to go to someplace
We'll
by
go with
O'Hare
whatever the
Airport?
majority says.
Yes.
Okay. And why does a 17-year-old kid have a bulletproof vest?
It was issued to me by the Grays Lake Police Department.
Okay. You didn't purchase it?
No, I did not.
And after you gave him your bulletproof vest, where did you go?
We went back to Nick Smith's house where we parked Dominic Black's car.
And then what did you do?
We walked from Mr. Smith's house. Once we parked at Nick Smith's house, we walked from Nick Smith's house to the car source 1, cutting through the Ruther Central backside parking lot because Nick Smith lives on the same street of.
You don't have to say where Nick Smith
Okay.
lives. He lives within walking distance from here?
Yes.
Okay. And so you go to car source 1,
Yes.
and that's the burnt out one?
No, car source 2. My bad.
Check your
Across
logic.
the street.
Okay.
You always ask
And
about my
at car
titles.
source 2,
What's
that's where you
pathological
spent
is how
most
the
of
news
evening?
media is
Yes.
When you first got
covering
to
this
car
trial.
source
They are
2,
pathological,
59th and Sheridan, what
pathologically inept
The
and
owners
lying.
were there, Sam, Sal, and his father, and I believe, I think it was his uncle there also. He was driving a van of some sort.
happened? Okay. And what was the discussion?
Sam and Sal thanked us for coming out to help. And then Sal said, hey, why don't you guys hop in my car? If I remember correctly, it was either a white or black BMW or Mercedes. I don't recall exactly.
And why did he want you to get in his car?
He was going to drive us down to car source lot number 3.
Okay. And did you agree to get in his car?
I did.
And who went to car source number 3?
Me, Dominic Black, and Nick Smith.
And who was driving?
Sal.
And when you got there, what happened?
We got out and we hung around for a couple minutes, and then some people showed up. I now know who they are, but at the time I didn't.
He's got to stop squeezing his face. But at least he's looking earnest.
Show what's been marked as Exhibit 30.
This is half and half.
Do you recognize that exhibit?
I do.
And can you, Your Honor, can
Yeah, it's, I get the impression that he wanted to testify. The lawyer sounds like he's trying to be super careful, almost like they didn't want him to testify. You know, that's hard to say.
Before that picture was taken,
if he's gonna follow his lawyer's advice, I'm gonna end the poll. It's literally 50% right now. Since it's 50% at the end of the poll, I am going to be the deciding vote. Oh no, it's 54-45. Is that right?
This is Sal, the owner.
Must have got a vote just
This is
a second,
Brian
last
Balch.
second.
This is Joanne Fiedler. This is Justin Hamilton. This is Dustin Colette. This is Nicholas Smith. I don't recall his name. This is me. And this is Dominic Black.
Okay. We've heard testimony. You can have a seat.
Base grandma's
We've heard
there though. That's
testimony
cool.
About you, Nick, and Dominic.
There's a couple things. I kind of get the point of questioning. One,
I knew Nicholas
that
Smith and Dominic Black.
Sam and Sal testified earlier in the case that they did not ask anyone to come protect their business, and so
being nice to you guys. Was he happy you were there? Was he mad at you for being there? Describe it.
He was happy we were there.
Yeah, because they are worried about their insurance and also liability from having one of the people protecting their building killing someone. So they testified that they didn't invite these people. But then another person testified that they drove them there, so they didn't need this testimony from Kyle.
10 minutes before this photograph was taken, did you know any of them?
I did not.
Had you ever spoken to any of them?
I knew Dominic Black.
And
Black Hebrews are right.
What was the idea? Right. Was there a plan? What was going to happen?
This was Dominic didn't
yes,
testify.
the plan
I
was
agree.
to. I went down there to provide first aid. I also I brought my orange first aid kit, the fanny pack, and I also brought my Pelican box, which was filled with first aid stuff by my feet to provide first aid.
The orange box by your feet you refer to as a Pelican box?
Yes.
Did you have that before the 25th?
Yes.
Was it stock?
Yes.
With things that you had bought and brought?
Yes.
And
so he bought his own stuff to help people.
With that every day, or is that because of the situation?
It was in the trunk of my car.
Okay. And the fanny pack, what's the situation with that?
There's no
It was my
whether he
work
defend
bag.
himself or
I
not.
brought it to work
but it
with me,
does.
and I would put it under my lifeguard booth.
The prosecution.
And that had first aid supplies.
It calls into question
Now, after the meeting
how a prosecution
here at
witness
63rd and Sheridan Road, what's been referred to as Car Source 3. What happened?
So one of the big
after the photograph,
one of the big things that they keep trying to push, the prosecution keeps trying to push, is that he had no business being there. Now, that's not a legal argument, but it is a social emotional argument that's happening in real time in the world, right? And the jury, if they find if that becomes compelling to them that, well, he should have just never been there, well, even though that has no bearing on whether or not he had self-defense, it's still something that a jury could, people in a jury can go, well, he shouldn't have been there, and he should. That if he wouldn't have been there, he wouldn't have shot anybody. So they're just getting that. They're trying to get that
Car Source 2.
Neutralize that.
Yes.
And so at that point, then Sam and Sal had coverage, for lack of a better word, at both of their businesses to protect the property, correct?
Yes.
So you get down to Car Source 2. Did all of these people go there?
Yes. Besides Sal, the owner, he did not.
Okay. During the night,
they were
was
trying to
Sam
show you
and Sal there?
They were not.
Okay,
They left you guys there.
Yes. I believe
the
Nick
prosecution
Smith was in
failed
contact with them throughout the
miserably,
night.
showing that he was out just to cause
but
trouble.
I believe they were.
And you get down there, were you able to get in and out of the business?
Yes.
How?
Sal, the owner, actually gave Nick Smith a set of keys.
Did you personally see that?
I did.
Did he give you any other direction regarding any equipment or anything like that?
He let us know where, like, the power washers and the fire. I think there was a single fire extinguisher in the building and some hoses, the hose hookups, just in case there was any fires we needed to put out at the lot.
Anything else about the roof?
He showed I believe it was Dominic Black and Nick Smith, the 2 ladders that were there to get up on the roof.
Okay. And did you guys use those ladders?
I didn't personally, but the people that were on the roof did.
Okay. And you saw them use those ladders?
I didn't see them, but that's how they got up there.
Okay. Where were you predominantly at Car Source 2?
I was in front of the Car Source 2.
Pray for this man, y'all. All of our abilities to defend ourselves hinges on this case. Well,
now,
in this state,
during the night
in particular.
At Car Source 2, did you stay there the whole time?
No, not the whole time.
When you would leave Car Source 2, what were you doing?
When I left, I was with Ryan Balch, and we would go out and ask if anybody needed any first aid assistance, and we would see if there were any fires, and we would put them out.
Okay. Did you personally put out any fires?
I did.
Where?
I put one out at the church.
Can you use a pointer?
So right here was where there was the demolishing. They were breaking some stuff down. But right here, I believe there was another building with an alleyway. It was either right here or right here. I don't remember fully. But there was a fire down the alleyway where they were trying to set the building and church on fire, and me and Mr. Balch. And I believe somebody else was with us. We went to go put that fire out.
Did you put it out?
We did.
Then what
Notice
did you do?
now, a lot of the people watched doing this.
Around that time, we saw Ruther Central.
A lot of
High
people
School on
testifying
fire,
spent a lot of time
front
looking at
doors,
the jury.
and
He's
we were
only
walking
talking to his
north
attorney.
down
And I think
Sheridan
they
Road
might have told him not to look at
go
the
put
jury.
fire out, and then somebody else put the fire out before we got to Ruther
When
Central
you
High
say the
School.
front, is that right here on Civic Park?
No, sorry, that's my
Great
mistake.
quote, Advocates Diabli.
You're walking north on Sheridan. It's the side of the building on Sheridan Road, towards the left when you're walking north.
In the general area where you had tried to help remove graffiti earlier?
I think this is all public opinion stuff too, because the people saying, "Oh, he has no ties to Kenosha, he crossed state lines." His dad, his grandma, his brother, girlfriend's boyfriend, everyone.
And
he has huge ties.
Last rioters?
No. The only type of stuff that happened was the person that attacked me first threatened to kill me twice.
Okay. And the person who threatened to kill you, we now know is Mr. Rosenbaum, correct?
Yes.
Before August 25th of 2020, had you ever...
I don't think he should have said that.
I did not.
Had you ever done anything...
I should go back to Ricada
upset you?
because
No.
I'm curious
Now,
to hear what they're saying.
You said he threatened to kill you twice.
Yes.
Let's hear
Describe
this.
the first time.
The first time was me and Ryan Balch were a little bit north, towards the north corner of 59th and Sheridan, and Mr. Rosenbaum was walking with a steel chain, and he had a blue mask around his face, and he was just mad about something. Me and Mr. Balch were asking people if they needed medical help, and then he screamed, sorry for my language, he screamed, "If I catch any of you fuckers alone, I'm going to fucking kill you."
And that was directed at you and Mr. Balch?
It was directed at both of us, what I believe.
And there was a second occasion where he threatened you?
Yes. The second time was outside of the
Problem
car
is,
source.
he had a different. It had his head covered. The
I don't
next
know if it
time,
was directed it towards me, but I heard it. He said to, I believe it was Joanne Fiedler, Dustin, Colette, and another guy. He was screaming. He said, "I'm going to cut your fucking hearts out and kill." I'm not going to repeat the second word, but kill you, N-words.
Now, did you ever see Mr. Rosenbaum doing any physical property damage?
I did.
Where?
I saw him I now know to be Joshua Zeminski. I saw him tip that trailer over and the porta potty. I saw him do both. And I believe he tried to start the porta potty on fire. I don't know. I don't think he succeeded. But then I saw him with Mr. Zeminski. He was either helping start it or he was like throwing stuff on it. I don't know which one he was doing.
Where did you originally see that trailer?
That trailer was in the St. James Church.
You know what? I want to go back to Rakita's stream now because I want to see how they're treating this.
In, corner, what I remember.
Not to piggyback on his stream, but still, I do want to see this. So let's go back, and because now we're gonna go back to Streamception. Okay, where is it? There we go. I might even go to Monkey Stream too, but
that trailer over.
So we'll probably hear some of this
and
again.
The porta potty. I saw him do both, and I believe he tried to start the porta potty on fire. I don't know. I don't think he succeeded.
Oh, they're all in here. Rakita, Legal Bites, Viva.
He was either
Viva
helping
Fry,
start or he was like throwing stuff
Ron
on
Coleman,
it.
who's a big-time lawyer.
Which one?
Nate the lawyer and Uncivil Law.
That trailer.
Oh, Grambo said the hard outline too.
In the St. James Church parking lot. Sort of.
Oh, she said it also?
They've got 37,000 people watching this stream.
Did you see how it got from there to where it was put on fire?
It was pulled.
By who?
It was several people that pulled it into the street, but I can't tell you definitely who pulled it into the street.
And you went down there and saw them starting a fire?
I didn't go down there. I was at the corner of the car source lot.
Okay. And you referred to Mr. Zeminski. Before August 25th of 2020, had you ever met Mr. Zeminski?
I have not.
Did you ever meet him since?
I have not.
Look at all the lawyers, though. Look at all the lawyers. They're nervous for this testimony. They're just like, oh, fuck, what is he going to just if he says something that shouldn't be said.
When you first saw Mr. Rosenthal,
notice they haven't asked any character questions about him, though. They just asked what he did.
He was clothed with a blue mask the first time I saw him. Blue mask.
And what color was his shirt, if you remember?
A dark red-ish color.
Now, did you provide medical help to anyone?
I did.
Describe a couple of those occasions.
The first time I provided medical help to someone was this lady. I think she sprained her ankle or twisted it. I don't know exactly. I'm not an expert on x-rays. She hurt her ankle and she was being carried by
real quick. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, who says, by the way, Black Hebrew Israelite,
you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day.
Thank you very much. He says, let's recap. The lead state witness admitted to advancing on Kyle with a loaded gun, then aimed at his head.
That's right.
Their other witness claimed the prosecutors tried to get him to change his sworn statement. Yes,
that's right.
And Grambo was based.
That's right.
Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, that
somebody threw a chemical bomb. Actually,
the witness
right after I heard
that said they tried to get the prosecutors to tell him to change his
I
story.
don't know who threw it, but somebody threw a chemical bomb, and Ryan Balch had some effects of it. So I helped Mr. Balch with being able to breathe, and I helped flush his eyes out.
At least the lawyer is being careful. That is. He's not asking any. He's not asking any character questions about Kyle, and that can be brought up by the prosecution.
The answer to the question just before, you said something about being pepper sprayed.
I did.
And where did that happen?
That happened at the car source. Right. I believe it's the first time a big crowd of people were over there. I was pepper sprayed by somebody that was in the crowd. I don't know why, but I was pepper sprayed.
Did you do anything in retaliation?
I did not.
Now, directing your attention to later in the evening, did there come a an occasion where you had contact with Mr. McGinnis?
There was.
And before this evening, August 25th, 2020, did you ever met or spoke to Mr. McGinnis?
I have not.
And you and Mr. McGinnis and Mr. Balch go someplace?
Yes.
And describe that.
I get done with my interview with Mr. McGinnis and I ask Mr. McGinnis, no, I don't ask him. I said, if you want to come with us, that's fine, to document and film me and Ryan helping people. And he said, yeah, sure. And he followed behind us.
And in that tape for Mr. McGinnis, there's talk about you being an EMT, correct?
Yes.
Are you an EMT?
I am not.
You have first aid and other training.
I do.
And you go to...
But he's an EMT.
South on Sheridan Road?
What do they call it? Explorer?
You cross 60th and Sheridan Road?
I believe we stay just to the right, going south on Sheridan Road.
Okay, and eventually you cross Sheridan Road?
Shit.
Eventually.
And were the Bearcats there yet?
No. Yes, they were.
Okay. Had they set up a line to stop people that you were aware of?
Not that I was aware of. I just know they were parked right there and people were throwing rocks at them.
Did anybody tell you not to cross that line? You wouldn't be able to go back?
Not until later in the evening.
Okay. You cross that line, where do you go?
We continue straight,
Yeah,
in
you're
the
right,
southerly direction down Sheridan Road.
Okay. Were you going any place in particular?
Offering
No,
anything
we were
new.
just going to see if anybody needed medical help, and I looked at a guy's shoulder on the way there.
Okay. And you finished with the guy's shoulder, and you continue on, and what happens?
I continue walking in a southerly direction down Sheridan Road, and then as I'm walking, I believe you guys have been referring to him as Yellow Pants. He said he said something to me. I believe it was, you were the one that pointed your rifle at me with the laser pointed at me. I believe that's what I heard. And I didn't. That's the first time I saw him that night. So I was confused. So I said I did. And then I continued to walk away.
And was the did an admission that you did it, or more of a statement with a question?
It was a sarcastic part.
That would be a leading
Did you
question,
engage
yeah.
with them any further?
They didn't object to it,
And
though. They didn't
just
object to
wants
the
to let
leading
her talk,
question.
though.
Where do you go?
There I continue walking in a
Binger is
southern
feverishly
direction,
taking notes, is what Binger's doing.
merging towards the middle of Sheridan Road.
At that point,
In about a couple of
Thank you, C.
as I'm
Thomas,
walking, I start
who
to look because
says
I realized Mr.
it's still
Ball-
disgusting the leftist swine will defend pedos, arsonists, communists, and hood rats before they both defend their countrymen. They get what they fucking deserve. Thank you for your support, and
You are the new
when you
Streamline
went to the
Superstar
Austin gas
sponsor
station
of the
parking lot,
day. Thank you, C. Thomas.
describe what was going on there.
There were a lot of people there. I don't really know what was going on. I was just focused on trying to find Mr. Balch. As I was looking for him, couldn't find him. I said, okay, no problem. I'll just go back to the car source number 2.
Okay. And describe what happened as you did that.
As I did that, I received a phone call from Dominic Black.
Hey, let me back up. Were you able to get back to car source number 2?
No, I did not.
Describe that.
As I was trying to get back, the police stopped me. Well, didn't stop me. They told me, I believe they said something along the lines of to not go down there. And I was telling them, hey, I need to go down there. That's where I'm at, that business. I don't remember exactly how that conversation went, but they wouldn't let me go back to car source lot number 2.
So you weren't able to get back to car source 2?
I was not.
Did you disobey the police's order?
No.
And you're alone, you're stuck on the other side of the police line from the car source 2. Where do you go?
It's
I go
all
to where
factual,
there's
so
other
that is, they
people
can't
at
bring
the
up
gas
anything
station,
else. They'll try to get
protecting
them
the gas station, and I go there because I believe that's the safest place to go because there's other people there. And
at that point, were you able to find Mr. Balch?
I was not.
Well, you're at the ultimate gas station, I think we've been calling it.
Correct.
Pointed out, just there's no.
Yeah, he needs to stop.
He's not looking for trouble. He's looking for safety. He's looking to help people.
Golf gas station.
That's a good point.
And
state of mind is the only thing that
what's
makes any sense, but I still disagree.
Thing that happened.
Dominic Black calls me and he says, Kyle, I need you to get down to the car source lot number 3. The cars are being bashed in. They're setting all the cars on fire. I need you to go and put the fires out.
Okay. And did you do anything as a result of that phone call?
I did.
What?
At the ultimate gas station, I asked, I don't know who he is, but I asked an individual if he could come with me and if I could have a fire extinguisher to put out the fires.
Were both of those requests satisfied?
One of them were.
What?
I was given a fire extinguisher, but he said he can't come with me, and he said he believes there's already people down there helping protect the business.
Okay. And what did you do then?
I start running towards the car source lot number 3 to put out the fires, pausing occasionally to catch my breath and walk.
Okay. On the way to car source.
Oh no, he was pursuing Joseph Rosenbaum.
Any interaction with Mr. Rosenbaum?
I did not.
Did you speak to Mr. Rosenbaum?
No.
Did you notice Mr. Rosenbaum doing anything as you went down to car source 3?
I didn't notice Mr. Rosenbaum until he came out from behind the car and ambushed me.
How do you know it was him? That's going to be the question.
Did you run the whole way?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
They're going to ask, how'd you know it was him?
Gun, correct?
Yes.
And you had a fire extinguisher?
Yes.
And you had your medic?
My medical bag, yes.
And were you asking people about medic at that point?
I was asking people.
No, that's a leading question.
Medical help as I was getting down there.
Did you receive any responses?
No, I didn't.
Describe your approach to car source number 3.
God, I'm almost have to be.
As I'm
shut my
walking
end
down
down.
Sheridan Road, I hear somebody.
So I'm going to put the link to Rakita. Rakita's got 41,000 viewers on this. It's amazing. I'm going to put the link to Rakita. So if you guys want to keep watching this afterwards, and I'll pin it in the chat here. I'm going to shut down in about 10 to 15 minutes. So I want to make sure that you can go right back to this if you're really interested.
Flame in the back seat of the Duramax.
Or if you just want to link it there.
I stepped towards the Duramax and. As I'm stepping forward, I believe his name is now Joshua Zeminski. He steps towards me with a pistol in his hand, and as I'm walking towards to put out the fire, I drop the fire extinguisher and I take a step back.
Okay. When you step back from Mr. Zeminski, what's your plan?
My plan is to get out of that situation and go back.
He didn't shoot him.
Sheridan Road to where
he didn't shoot him.
The car source lot number 2 was.
I bet he's gonna cry when he talks about killing Rosenbaum.
Back? Were you able to go in a northerly direction?
I believe this kid. I believe this kid 100%.
Once I take that step back, I look over my shoulder and Mr. Rosenbaum was now running from my right side. And I was cornered from in front of me with Mr. Zeminski. And there were.
Yep.
He's gone.
Question is, will the jury believe it or will they think it's rehearsed?
Right.
No, they're gonna believe it. But
people right there.
They're gonna believe it. That's completely real.
I believe this kid. I believe this fucking kid. I'm sorry. I believe him. I'm not sorry. I believe this kid.
Some people are saying they're fake tears.
That's right, run.
This is a 17-year-old kid who just killed 2 people.
This is post-traumatic stress disorder, and it's not.
It's a 17-year-old kid who just, this kid was 17. People think this kid is like a 40-year-old man. It's a 17-year-old kid who's out there cleaning off graffiti from a high school.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to be upset.
Someone in the chat said he was being hunted, and you realize he was being hunted by like a pack of wolves. One was taking one side, the other one brandished a firearm from another side. But this kid suffers from
nothing
PTSD,
fake about that at all.
It in real time.
If you've ever been in a situation,
I want to point something out to address the chat. Yes, Kyle is doing well. He's doing great. He's very believable, and he's coming across very real right now. The jury is certainly going to be, they're at worst, each juror is going to have a conflict inside. If they hate Kyle, they're going to be conflicted by what's going on.
It's not.
The problem is not now on direct.
It's
cross-examination. That is not the problem. He's going to do direct well. They've been probably rehearsing this for the past month, getting this testimony down. It's why he's crisp on the facts. He's confident. He's been doing all this, and this moment they knew was going to come. Barnes said,
aim for 10 minutes, but it'll probably be a tad longer.
All right, I'm going to.
Barnes said for the first month while he was in jail, he's throwing up every day.
All
we
right,
know
I'm
Kyle
gonna just
feels.
take this off now, so I'll watch the rest of this later. But anyway, guys, go watch the rest of this stream on Rakita Law. There was that. Anyone who says that was fake is full of shit. We'll get into how the media covers it tomorrow, but let's just go back to this Newsweek article and then we'll finish up and get out of here. So Christopher Slogwood, back in this Newsweek article, if you were watching before, we're going how the media's treating this trial. And this is the article, will Rittenhouse be acquitted? What Gaige Grosskreutz testimonies mean for the trial. I'll start over on this. Legal experts are divided on whether the testimony of Gaige. Okay, we already got this. They say legal experts are divided. And we got down to here where this expert, director of the criminal justice program at Vanderbilt University Law School in Tennessee, does not agree. He told Newsweek that Grosskreutz's testimony looked bad for the prosecution in isolation, but the jury must take into account what occurred before the shooting. Bottom line is that the chronology of the shots is very important. Gaige only pointed his gun at Rittenhouse after he shot the first 2 individuals. This testimony could hurt Rittenhouse. So he said that Gaige Grosskreutz could have a self-defense claim, right? He said you don't get self-defense to murder if you're the first to use deadly force. And so they're saying that his testimony, they had the Viva Fry clip on Newsweek, his tweet of the stream by Rakita. Anyway, elsewhere during his testimony, Grosskreutz told the jury he thought that Rittenhouse was an active shooter that night and thought he was going to die. Under Wisconsin law, a person is allowed to use deadly force in self-defense if necessary to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm. So yes, we've established that Grosskreutz also could have a self-defense claim in this case. Rittenhouse's lawyers have argued that the suspect came to Kenosha to provide medical assistance. Yes, he did. We've just heard that. Even if the jury rules that Rittenhouse's actions didn't constitute murder, the defense may argue that he should be convicted of manslaughter. Well, not in a self-defense. Sorry, self-defense is obviously what Rittenhouse lawyers want, but the results are that it results in because that results in acquittal. But if they don't think they're going to win that, they at least want to give the jury an option to find an imperfect self-defense. This would mean that it was reasonable for him to shoot, but he thought he needed as he was honestly fearful of his life. Okay, whatever. If he wins that argument, the charges could get knocked down from murder to manslaughter. Andrew Brock, a Colorado lawyer who specializes in self-defense and who is at Legal Insurrection, which I have their site in the tabs today. They've been following the case and he's been doing it. He says Grosskreutz is fortunate that modern American courtrooms don't do trial by combat, because otherwise he'd have been carried out of the courtroom mortally wounded by his own testimony. Bronca wrote in his blog, where he gives daily updates to the Rittenhouse trial. Bronca said Grosskreutz testified that Rittenhouse had only fired his weapon at those who were chasing or attacking him, and that he tried to intervene when Huber was attacking him with skateboard because he believed Rittenhouse was in danger of being seriously hurt. Oh, so as being attacked with a skateboard is dangerous. He testified to that. Grosskreutz testified to that. The defense also pointed out that Grosskreutz was unlawfully in possession of the pistol he pointed at Rittenhouse. As I stepped through the cross-examination of Grosskreutz today, I identified no fewer than 19 substantive portions, nearly 50% of the total time spent on cross by attorney Sheriffisi, that were substantively destructive to the state's narrative of guilt and helped to the defense narrative of self-defense, Braga added. So Newsweek did a decent job, gave you a little bit of taste of both sides there and both possibilities. Great for them. Let's see. Do I have time for one more? Sure I do, because this is the one that pissed me off this morning. Oh, shit. Where'd it go? They jumped. I got to find NBC's. And if I can't, we're going to... Oh, I see. They added some more stuff here. NBC News. Now, look at this bullshit. I'm just going to call it. Here's the tweet and the headline. One of the men fatally shot by Kyle Rittenhouse was in a horizontal position, a forensic pathologist told Wisconsin jurors, suggesting the victim wasn't a threat when he was gunned down. That is a fucking blood libel lie. Lying motherfuckers. In fact, I even tweeted something to that effect that how do they get away with lying so far? So the pathologist, the forensic pathologist, did not make any such claim as far as, quote, suggesting the victim wasn't a threat when he was gunned down. Complete and utter lie. Now, if they're saying that the defense suggests or the prosecution suggests is that, well, no, but they're still talking about the forensic pathologist and the idea that he was in a horizontal position. Because what the claim is and what they're trying to make the narrative is that Kyle shot him, Rosenbaum in the back. But that's not what he said. And also, they just conveniently leave out the fact that the forensic pathologist also said that Rosenbaum was shot in the hand at extremely close range in the front part of his hand, like his hand was like this and at an angle like this, and it shot through his hand like this. And there was soot saying it was either an inch away or touching the barrel of the rifle. And so remember, this all happened in 0.7 seconds, 4 shots. And so it's consistent with Kyle maybe taking 4 shots as Rosenbaum is lunging at him and falling as he lunges at him after the first shot. And they found video showing how fast this went, but they slowed it down. But the defense, the prosecution is trying to make it sound like he was, when you're diving at someone, you would be horizontal though. And also remember, Kyle's a little bit taller than Rosenbaum. So if you think it wouldn't even have to be horizontal, he would, if Rosenbaum's falling and you 4 shots, it's as he's falling, one hits the head, one hits, he's pointing it at Rosenbaum as he's diving at him. It's just, this line is just so inflammatory by NBC News. So they got their clicks. So then I'm like, okay, let's check the article. And the article has the same. Now, this one is different. Kyle Rittenhouse was fatally shot man who was in horizontal position. Pathologist testifies the prosecution rested its case against the Illinois teenager accused of killing 2 men in Kenosha last year. Let's make this a full page so you can see it. Then this is the last thing we're going to do. This is here. I'll make it bigger here a little bit. One of the men fatally shot by Kyle Rittenhouse was in a horizontal position, a forensic pathologist told Wisconsin jurors Tuesday, suggested he didn't suggest anything, but people writing this seem to be suggesting it. This is what I'm talking about. Pathological, check your logic. Pay attention. They're pathological liars or anyway, people don't read past the first couple paragraphs anyway. All they see is horizontal position suggesting he wasn't a threat when he was gunned down. Suggested by who? Dr. Doug Kelly, forensic pathologist, the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner, detailed the fatal gunshots suffered by Anthony Huber and Joseph Rosenbaum during the August 25th, 2020 protest of police shooting of Jacob Blake. What? Is that relevant now? Not really. Anyway, Assistant District Attorney James Krause sought to paint Rosenbaum's killing as particularly egregious as he was falling or perpendicular when the shots were fired. Really? Because in shots at 4 shots in 0.7 seconds. Okay, what about the first two? Was the first shot when he was falling? Or was he within a few feet of you coming at you? The back to front shots to the head, then the kill shot to the back would have been as he was falling or perpendicular to the ground, Krause asked. Or was he was falling or perpendicular to the ground, Krause asked? The doctor agreed. The only way that the trajectories of gunshot wounds to the right side of the head and the back make sense is if he's more horizontal to the ground, and that is occurring at the time the last 2 gunshot wounds are heard in the video, Kelly responded, but the defense attorney, Mark Richards, implied that Rosenbaum could have still been a threat to his client, who squeezed off the 4 shots at the victim. That victim, oh, this is not the court. They can say that. In 0.76 second, 0.76 of the second, whatever. Richard stood in front of the witness, put his head down, and feigned an aggressive rush towards the doctor. So if I was charging like a bull and diving, would that be consistent with the wounds suffered by Rosenbaum? Richard asked. That would be, Kelly responded. Rittenhouse at least one juror appeared to be unnerved by the grim autopsy photos. As Krause put the disturbing images on an overhead screen for Dr. Kelly's testimony, Rittenhouse again turned away and looked down, avoided looking at him. At least one juror kept looking forward, but clearly closed her eyes as pictures of Huber on a coroner's table were shown in the Kenosha courtroom. Rittenhouse now notice though, their money shot for NBC News, who's trying to lead the public opinion, is in the first paragraph. Okay. But they're seem to be pretty good at just stating the facts later. But of course, what is a prerequisite for any story about this case? What's the prerequisite of any story? That words that must be uttered no matter what in this case? Yes, they come down here. Rittenhouse and scores of other people were on the streets of Kenosha after the shooting of Blake, a black man, by a white police officer on August 23rd, 2020. Because they got to get that in. Because nobody knows that Jacob Blake was a black man and shot by a white police officer. Nobody knows that. Nobody's ever told us that. That is new information. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
And you are
the new Streamlabs
Thank you, sir.
Superstar sponsor
Who says
of the day.
Trump, the media, is the enemy of the people. MSM, let's go after Trump's family and friends. That's not enough. Let's go after supporters by getting them fired and censored online. Let's keep lying about stuff you see on video. MSM, why don't people trust us?
That's right.
Right, and more right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. My brain hurts. My brain hurts like a motherfucker just thinking about this shit. I'm gonna go watch the rest of or listen to it while I'm driving, and holy shit! And I know that thread is growing because of the fact that because the trial's going on. Let me see where they're at here. Let's see if they have pictures of Kyle crying yet. Yeah, Rittenhouse wasted no time in making a slew of wild allegations about 36-year-old Joseph Rosenbaum, the first person he shot and killed during the unrest in Kenosha last year before breaking down in tears. Wild allegations! They're fucking video of everything he said for the most part. Multiple people have testified to what Kyle is testifying to. Wild allegations? Holy shit! That's the Daily Beast, of course. I expect them to be assholes. Newsweek, tweets just about this so far. Newsweek, Kyle Rittenhouse says he went to protest to provide first aid while on the witness stand at his trial. Okay, pretty good by Newsweek. AP, Kyle Rittenhouse testified at his murder trial that the first man he shot and killed during the night of protest in Kenosha was holding a chain at one point and twice threatened to kill him. Wow, they're being accurate. It's crazy. Someone here, Rittenhouse mother sitting in the gallery, also started to cry while he was testifying. Omar Jimenez from CNN, as Kyle Rittenhouse begins to explain how his first shooting began that night, he breaks down in tears and begins to sob uncontrollably on the stand. Very real. We are now getting to the moments of the first shot. Rittenhouse absolutely breaks down, cannot speak. Judge calls for a break. Said he wasn't able to leave, said he looked over his shoulder and Rosenbaum was running at him from his right side and he was cornered between Zeminski and Rosenbaum. Rittenhouse is crying uncontrollably right now. So at least people, they're being honest. Let's see. Oh, NBC though. Let's see how NBC spins it let's see what they say. Breaking. Kyle Rittenhouse takes the witness stand, testifying in his own defense against charges that he killed two men during the protests in Wisconsin. Interesting. Rittenhouse said he had never seen him before, but said sarcastically toward him, I did. Continued a bit more and turned back as Balch was no longer with him. Went to the Ultimate Gas parking lot, couldn't find him. Balch said he went inside there. Okay, so they're okay. They're catching up on Twitter. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I did that because I didn't put it back on the screen, but that's it for today. As you know, I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and I don't know. We'll see how long they question him. It seems like the defense or the prosecution is not. Sarcastically, I know what the fuck they're talking about. I don't know if the prosecution is going to talk to him for a real long time. They're going to ask him the facts and see if the defense. I don't think the defense is going to hold him all day testifying. I think they've got their short and succinct. I think they got all they need for the self-defense. And right now, that seemed very genuine. Kyle breaking down. But, I still don't think they should have put him on the stand. Odd thing for them to hone in on one that I did thing. Oh, I know. They honed in on one little thing. So far, everything he's testified has been factual stuff, not anything about his character. And it corroborates a lot of the things that other people were saying. They all saw this jackass walking around. And now he knows he's been threatened twice. But the big question is going to be, how did you know it was Rosenbaum? Because he had his head wrapped up with his shirt. Here's the thing. Rosenbaum is conspicuously short. He has the same red shirt, but it's on his head now, and he has the same pants on. So Rittenhouse could have realized who it was, but that's going to be the big question. How did you know it was him? How did you know it was him? How did you know it was him? He had his face covered. How did you know it was him? That's going to be the question that the prosecution is going to try to hammer him on with Rosenbaum. Because remember, Rosenbaum is the most important part of this case for the prosecution. If they get guilty on Rosenbaum, that makes the other two very, very more difficult to consider self-defense. It's a slight chance, but from a jury standpoint, maybe not. But we'll see. We'll see. Or we will not see. I hate that joke. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being here. It's time for me to go. please hit the like, even though all 13 of you who are here liked it. So I feel blessed. Thank you very much. And share the stream, even though, well, just share it. What the hell? I'm going to pull some stuff out of my stream from yesterday, though, as standalone videos, because I realized how funny they were after the fact. And also the thing about Jonathan Capehart not knowing that Jacob Blake is not dead is just classic. That's a perfect either TikTok style video or something, but good Lord. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for everyone who sponsors the show. Thanks for hitting the likes. Thanks for being here on this lovely hump day. My name is PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thanks for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.